Hey, I was driving in Dallas, Texas, consulting with the team there, and I was coming through an intersection, and it was absolutely 100% obvious as I went into the intersection that I was going to have a collision, a T-bone kind of collision. And in order to prepare myself for the impact, there was some psychological prep that took place, but also just a sense of terror as this happened, because the car in the oncoming lane decided to make a left turn in front of me. So as it did it very slowly. That's what surprised me. It wasn't trying to cut through quickly. As I was coming through the intersection, it just kind of crept slowly in their SUV through the intersection. And it became obvious that I was going to hit them, and the person in the car looking out the passenger window knew it was obvious as well that they were going to be impacted. And then at the last moment, something happened, a counterintuitive thought that for a moment, and all this happens in a split second, for a moment, I basically wanted to dismiss. But I did pay attention to it. And that counterintuitive thought said, don't brake, accelerate. I thought, excuse me? Because this was probably 30 to 40 feet from collision time. I'm doing about 30 or so miles an hour. They've just pulled slowly in front of me. And frankly, the pavement's wet from a light rain that had been falling. But that was what ultimately saved me, because had I hit the brakes, I would have slid in and had the collision. Instead, slight acceleration and a quick turn allowed me to bypass the person and go around them. It was a terrifying moment. The last thing I wanted was an accident or to hurt anyone. But that counterintuitive thought, that insight, that maybe God moment, whatever it was, allowed me to make some change in that particular circumstance. See, I just told you a story. It's a very revealing and compelling story to me, but it's a story I can use in a number of ways, and leaders should use their stories and the stories of their organization to lead. So I want to give you 3 or 4 types real quickly of stories that are powerful. Campfire stories. That's when you look to the past. The people who've been around for a while say, here's what it was like when I got here. Here's how the organization started. Do you remember when we put this team together 2 years ago? This is what we were scared, or we never thought we could pull this off. Campfire stories go back into the past and remind people of the journey and how you got where you are today. A second kind of story is what I'll call an iconic story. It captures what it is you're trying to do as a group, a team, or an organization. Remember when Mike came into the ER room, he was on the brink of death. But because of Sandy doing her job with triage work, and because we were able to bring the right technology into the room, and because you, Steve, the anesthesiologist, did your work, and Rebecca, you brought your surgical experience to this, and you go around the room and you say, look, because of all that we did, he's alive today, or this person's alive today. That allows you to say, this is what we exist for. Then you can take that iconic story and turn it into kind of a third kind of story, which is a vision story. Though often vision stories come from outside the organization. We tell a story from another group, another team, a book we've read, something that says, do you see this happening? We can be like that. So if you see something in another group or organization that you can leverage to inspire your people, that's a vision story. Those are very powerful. Then the fourth kind is simply what I told earlier, which was a personal story. Personal stories help the leader connect emotionally with their team, can be used for teachable moments like I did, in the sense of encouraging you to pay attention to those counterintuitive thoughts sometimes. And sometimes they can just simply be humorous. It can be a fun, self-effacing story that says, hey, I'm just like you. I have the same problems and issues in life. And you get to connect a little bit more with your people, and you lighten the room up a little bit with a humorous story. Leaders can leverage the power of story for their leadership and for the benefit of their group or team or organization. Don't underestimate the power of story.